Hey yo, what is up and welcome to NinjaGeek Games. In this episode we're going to unbox a recently received Kickstarter game from Tabula Games, and that is Barbarians the Invasion 2nd edition. Now I back this for a number of reasons. One, I love Norse themed games. 2, I like worker placement games, hence my love for Champions of Midgard. 3, I love Euro games, again hence my love for Feast of Odin, another Norse game. 4, I love 3D volcanoes. Yeah, it's got one of those too. Now there's a cool story for backing this game. Some of you may know that my twin sister was on the latest season of SAS Who Dares Wins on Channel 4 in the UK. I was contacted by the production company as well, and after all the auditions were done, they really wanted me to be on the show. I was quite reluctant, but because my sister was on, I thought I'd say yes. And I did all the TV interviews, the PT tests and so on, and then did loads of training myself. And the night before we flew out for filming, I was told that the recruits had been changed and I actually wasn't going on the show. I then had to reorganise my life as I'd cancelled all my work, and I was pretty devastated that I couldn't go. So my mum actually decided to back this for me. So thanks, mummy. Mum. Anyway, Barbarians is a competitive 1 to 4 player game where each player controls a clan. You have to manage your economy and your army, with actions being decided by your meeples being placed onto a rotating 3D volcano, and this includes declaring war on a second board in play. At the end of the game, the winner is the clan with the most domination points. So let's take a look inside. It's the main game box with some awesome illustration of a battle going on in front. This gold foil here was a Kickstarter exclusive for those who backed the game. It looks really nice. First thing you see is an insert, and there are like 3 pieces of the volcano here. There should be 4, so there'll be another piece inside somewhere. You put these together to make the 3D volcano. And on here we've got another insert, which is nice because you can then put all the pieces back easily after a game. This looks like the top of the volcano here. We've got a lot of tokens, cards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 decks of cards. Yeah, these are the meeples. I went for the meeple version. So we'll get 4 of each colour for your warriors, and there should be some warriors around somewhere as well. Here we go. Yeah, there's also champions. So there's 4 champions, 1 of each colour, and they have a slightly different image than those on the meeples there. Got a number of player discs again for each faction, and these are plastic, as well as 8 plastic playing cubes as well. There are 2 of each colour. I'm not sure if you can see there. 2 for each faction. There are wooden resource tokens, and I think you get 1, 2, 3, 4 for each colour, and they all have stickers on the top as well. As well as 12 wooden troop tokens. These have different images on the top. I'm guessing there's 4 for each player. These are the wooden hunt markers, as well as 4 packets of wooden banners, again in a particular colour, and stickered as well. There'll be 1 set for each of the clans that you play with in the game. Underneath we've got the player boards. There should be 4, and they are inset as well, so the tokens will sit in here. I think this is where the clan powers will be placed. And these are grooved as well, and there's 4, and they all have a different colour, so you can distinguish which clan they belong to. And I believe they are double-sided, although it's likely I'll be using this side with all the insets in. But they're really nice, good quality, thick card. So for the punch boards, we have some conquest tokens here. Individual faction tokens. These are magma tokens. I believe these triangle ones here are for milestones, which is a variant of gameplay. And these are the clan powers that slot into the oh, I just lost a token there. That slot into the player boards, and I think that adds asymmetry to each of the clans, giving them a special ability that's unique to them throughout the game. So you've got a thick rule book listing all the contents. I believe there is the expansion in here, which is there. So there's the rules and the contents of the expansion as it goes through. There is a solo game as well. I'm trying to find that. So you've got additional modules, so you can add additional modules to the game. Yeah, and a one-player rules set as well, so you can play this game solo. There are a number of boards, so this is the main game board that we'll have a look at in a second. We'll have 2 war maps, and each of these are also double-sided. And then we have at the bottom here is the volcano tiles. Now this, the blue side, is actually the volcano tiles for the Hunt expansion. If we turn them over, yeah, and this like orangey brown side is for the base game. So you can use either side depending on which game you're playing. So what we're going to do now is just have a look at the game setup and have a look at all the maps and how the volcano is used. So this is the setup just for the core game. I've not even used the Hunt expansion or the additional modules that are also included in this Kickstarter as well. And as you can see, it's massive. I can hardly fit it onto the screen. So in the centre we have this is the main board, and we have a barbarian knowledge, tactical knowledge here. Feasts and demons go here. Now you only use a limited number of cards, and during the setup as you randomly draw these, and then the rest of the deck go away, so that when you replay the game again, these actually could be different. But the artwork on these cards is brilliant. This is my favourite, I think, here. This is Arachnus, which is like a giant crab spider thing, demon. That looks absolutely awesome. So this is the 3D volcano, and it does rotate so that during the game, once you place your Vikings on, you can create paths down to certain actions on the layers below. And then when you place your Viking, you have to do that action immediately. On the side here, you have the honor track, and I think these were the milestones that are a variant of the game. And I'm not sure, I think this is the score track, but I do know that you can go have negative points as well. So the various cards you have here are the war chiefs, the gods, and the buildings. And we have the player areas down here. Now each of the player areas will have its banners, tokens that are used during play. These are the resource markers, and you get one of each type for food, wood, iron, stone, and gold as well. And these are troop miniatures for archers, berserkers, and raiders, and you actually start the game with 2, and these can slide up and down. For the war map over here, you add the first conqueror tokens to each area near an island. I think there's one more that goes at the top. And then you randomly place one faction token in each of the regions on the map, aside from the starting ones. So you can have your faction tokens on these islands. And I mean, just looking at it, I've not played it yet or even read the rules, but it looks like there's a lot of moving parts, and it looks in depth enough to keep me interested to play for some time. I'm really looking forward to this to play solo first and then getting my gaming group over as well. The artwork's brilliant. The board here just looks incredible, and I love this rotating 3D volcano where you've got loads and loads of different actions, so it looks like you'll have to plan ahead depending on what you want to do, or hopefully you can block other people from performing actions that would let them gain additional points to win the game. And also at the start of the game, each of the players also starts with a god card, and these look really good as well. I'm not even sure how to pronounce this, Geosis, but the artwork on those looks absolutely amazing as well. So that's the contents and the just an overview of the setup and how big the game is. And we'll just have our final thoughts now. And there you have it, just an overview and an unboxing of Barbarians, the Invasion 2nd edition by Tabula Games. So what did I think? Well, I think the components look absolutely brilliant. The game is huge. It takes up most of my table. Loads of tokens, loads and loads of cards, plus there's additional cards for backing the Kickstarter as well. I think you get a few upgrades for Kickstarter exclusives, which is really nice as well. The player boards are lovely with the insets, so you can slide the tokens up and down in those as well. I really like the meeples. I'm glad I got the meeples over the miniatures. I love miniature games, but it's always nice to play with meeples, especially in the worker placement games as well. The volcano is really good. I've not played with anything similar before, so I'm looking forward to playing that. And as I understand it, is you place your meeples on the volcano, and you can create a path down using those abilities as you place your meeples as well. The only thing I would say is that on my volcano, some of the card is lifting slightly. And I don't know if that was during transport or it was just made faulty. The other thing as well is there are fake cards, and I think there are some other objective cards that are used in the solo play and the variant games as well. And it appears that the backs have been transversed over so that the doesn't affect gameplay, but the cards you're using, the backs don't match what's in the rule book as well. Bit disappointed in that because of the game of this quality with all the other components really well. That just looks like a bit of a silly oversight really. But as I said, it doesn't affect gameplay. The other thing as well is the clan power tiles. They don't seem to fit flush into the player boards. They're made slightly too big, so they are now resting at a slight angle as well, which again is a bit of a disappointment of a game of this quality. Other than that, it looks brilliant. Components are great. The board looks incredible. It's massive, really detailed, especially with the additional wall map on the side as well. So I'm really looking forward to playing this game. This is NinjaGeek Games. Cheers.